Hey guys, welcome back to episode 23 of Jack Out of the Box. Um, I hope you've had a good week. I know I've been a bit busy this week, but I guess that's good. Sort of started the week off just sort of chilling out, and then got stuck into my assignments over the weekend. But yeah, I guess you know everything up till uh, Thursday week ago. So I guess I'll go from there. Um, so Friday, I finally finished the last website assignment. Uh, kind of Ali was here and he could sort of just help me finish it off. So it worked and everything was good. So then I sort of had a bit of a celebratory game afternoon. Then at about 5:30, I think I had a meeting for my group assignment to get everyone working on it because we kind of forgot there was a presentation due before the actual report's due in, and we sort of hadn't really started either. So that sort of spiked my interest, and I was like, well, I better go and get started. So after that Saturday, I was like, yeah, I need to be productive and finish this report so I can cut it down and add it to the presentation by a week later. So Saturday came. Scott wasn't on Sunday morning, so Saturday we went and had brekkie instead. Then we came home and I worked on that group assignment, researching management information systems, mainly supply chain management systems, as that's what the business we picked kind of needs. I think we picked kids' toy manufacturing and sales. So yeah, it was basically just finding information on those things, and I'd sort of done majority of stuff in a notes file before that. So I was just like reportifying everything I'd researched. So I did that from like 10 till 3 with about a 15-minute gap around 1 o'clock to have lunch. So that was a lot of work to smash out in a while. But I got it done, so then I could just chill out for the night. So I think, I watched something on Disney Plus and then played some games and stuff. So yeah, that was good. Then Sunday, I did the same thing. I had to sort of put together recommendations of what we had to research, or what we had researched, and which one out of the two we researched, or which one out of the two information systems we picked could be used. So I think most of Sunday was finishing up the report, the discussion of one of the second system I picked. And then the UOW F1 Club had our first technically unofficial event, because we're not actually a registered club with UOW as of yet. So it was sort of just an event organised by the club for the people of the club, but had nothing to do with the club. We had a watch party for the Japanese GP in Suzuka at one of the pubs here, which was all sort of fun, and it was raining and stuff beforehand, and we were all like, oh, are they going to get started? Anyway, they got started. The first lap, there was a crash. And then what else happened? There were like 4 cars spin out. Then they did 1 lap under the safety car, basically, with one guy pitting right at the end. After the crash, he somehow ended up with a advertisement board stuck to the front of his car, so it pitted to get that removed and fix his rear wing. And then when he'd come out of the pits, it was still, at the moment, a yellow flag or safety car, so he kind of had to catch up to the safety car train. And the stewards had already brought their tractor out on the racetrack to remove the car that was in the crash and couldn't be driven. So yeah, at like 180 k's an hour, this dude drove past a loader lifting this car off the track. And then after that, like 2 seconds after that, it got red flagged. So the race basically got neutralised and everyone got sent back to the pits. So I think after the race, Gasly, who was a guy who nearly died running into a tractor, at the end of it, he got penalised for speeding under a red flag condition, which he did admit to. But he was like, yeah, that's not, like, regardless of how fast I was going, there was a frigging loader on the track, which I think about 8 years ago, some guy did die in Suzuka on the same track because of that. So that kind of sent, shivers down probably all the drivers' backs. But anyway, it's a good thing no one was hurt because of that. Well, no one was hurt at all in the whole race. One of the Ferraris had crashed out, and then we sort of waited around for ages. Good thing Bathurst was on. We could swap over to that and watch that for a while. And then about, I think, with like 45 minutes left on the race clock, they got going again. So that was really exciting. We were all like, yeah, there's a race now. And then, it was kind of just a race in the rain. It was really kind of boring after that for the most part. Max got off to a huge lead. I think he ended up winning it by like 28 seconds or 27 seconds in a 28 lap race where they all started behind the safety car, which was crazy to pull out a second a lap, basically. And then right at the end, Charles Leclerc was coming second and Checo Perez was right on his tail. Forced a mistake on the last chicane of the last lap. Charles went off, was determined after the race that he had gained an advantage, so Checo came second. The way the rules were read sounded like they were only going to award 50% points, so basically for each different percentage of the race, they have a different amount of points. But that happens to be if the race is suspended and can't restart at all. So basically, because they did restart the race, full points could be awarded. So with that penalty, put Charles too far away from Max. So Max Verstappen won the World Drivers' Championship for the second year in a row. Again, in controversial scenes, which I really like. If in Coda he's not doing donuts at the end of that race, look, hopefully he wins it, because it's just going to be embarrassing to have won the Drivers' Championship and not be able to do donuts in front of the crowd. I know that's a dumb thing to care about, but really, altogether a good day for me. I wore my Vettel t-shirt. He did really good, went from 9th to 6th and beat Fernando Alonso by like 0.1 second on the line at the end of the race, and then got voted driver of the day. So that was pretty cool. Everyone's like, you're the man, you picked the right guy. I know he didn't win, but he did good, and everyone else thought he did good as well. So that was fun to meet all those guys. Most of them are way more into it than I am, but I mean, that's cool. I'm happy to be taught a few things about it. So then I think we got dinner on the way home and then played a couple games. And then by the time the race had finished, it was like 8:30 when we got home and had dinner. And then we played a couple games and I went to bed. Then Monday had a really busy day. I had the Management Information Systems lab where we did a quiz on business intelligence systems. I got 100%. That was awesome. Then had a meeting again for the group assignment just to update each other on where we were, what we'd got done, and what we then needed to get done following that class. Then I really had a stuff up of a day because then I had left my urinal bottle in my apartment at the other end of campus, and it got to 12 o'clock and I was absolutely busting. So Ali and I made a mad dash back to my place, so I could go to the toilet. And then I watched the end of my web development lecture for like 10 minutes. So I think it was about React, which is like a framework to write HTML and JavaScript sort of in the same thing, I'm pretty sure. But I should pay attention because I missed both lectures about that so far. And then went back to uni because I had to present my website in the web development lab, which was straight after the lecture. I had the idea. I was like, I'm going to go to class. I'll get marked first. I can come back and be back to KB for my RA meeting. That didn't happen. I went last in the classroom. I was the last person before all the people online. So by then it was like 5 to 4 and the meeting was at 4 o'clock. So I said to Ali, all right, let's pack up. Let's go. And we were probably going to make it by 4 o'clock. Except we ran into Angus, who was walking back from uni after, I don't know, he went and got a haircut and had a bunch of food, and we sort of yelled out to him, or Ali yelled out to him, and Angus didn't know who it was, so he just kept walking, and then once we caught up to him, he was like, oh, it's you guys. So then we just wandered back to Coolabong. Got to the meeting about 5 minutes late, but I don't think we missed anything. Then we chilled after that, played a couple games. Then Angus and Isaac came over. We had dinner and then played some poker, which was pretty fun. Tuesday, I had my e-business lecture where we talked about order fulfillment processes, which is basically just how the thing you order goes from being on your computer screen and you clicking whatever, add to cart, and then buying it, to it arriving at your house, and ultimately reverse logistics as well if you need to return stuff, which is pretty cool. Then e-business lab, where we had more people present their favorite e-business websites. That day had a bunch of really good ones, and enthusiastic people presenting, which was pretty good. I don't know what mine was like. I did mine online, but I think it was okay. But yeah, these guys were really good. One of them gave away Yu-Gi-Oh cards for votes because we got to take a vote for the best one, and they get an extra mark on the assignment if they don't get full marks. So that guy's probably going to get full marks anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was good to witness that, I guess. Then Wednesday, I'd worked on the group assignment again, just had to finish the recommendation discussion about which one of the supply chain management tools we recommended to the company. And then I wasn't going to do anything more on it, but then I was like, I can do this presentation bit in like 20 minutes. So I did that, and then I think Angus and I got on and played some games. And then we went to trivia, which was pretty fun. We managed to come equal first, where we challenged, or whatever, our team and the other team that came a tie challenged each other to an arm wrestle. We won, but Ali may have kind of cheated, but not really. So then we ended up splitting the prize money, and we both got $40 bucks to spend at the bar. So kind of a win-lose situation, but whatever. We won anyway. Then Thursday, today, kind of after I got up, I wrote some script for the podcast, done a couple songs to get ready. And then at 11, we had a meet and greet with Gilly, Adam Gilchrist at the uni hall. So we ducked down there, and Gis and I were like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's go. It was kind of a bit weird, like, wow. So they've got like a lift to get wheelchairs up on the stage. So they got me up there before he was even there. And then, yeah, Gilly and the uni dude who was sort of conducting the meet and greet sort of thing came up on stage and sort of asked some questions and had a chat, and then like towards everyone else in the room. So I was sitting on the stage while they were on the stage talking. It was pretty cool. But I think I'm in the background of every photo the photographer took, just because of where he was and where I was sitting. So we got a picture and an autograph. Gus and I had a quick chat. He sort of asked where I was from, and I was like, oh, out. Or initially I said out near Wagga, because I was like, this dude's from Perth. He's not going to know New South Wales that good. But yeah, stupid me. People know the whole country when they're Adam Gilchrist, I guess. So he was like, oh, we're out near Wagga. And I was like, oh, then again, because I don't think people know where Ungary is, said West Wyalong. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know there. I lived in Junee for a while. I was like, okay, pretty cool. Then we sort of had a quick chat about the World Cup coming up and the game he commentated on last night. Yeah, and then that was it. Got a quick photo and the autograph, and then came home. So that was pretty cool. This seems like a really cool guy. I know, like, we go for the same Big Bash team, the Scorchers. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, so sort of because of that, I thought he was a pretty big deal. Yeah, but really just normal dude, who's obviously quite famous in Australia. So he was here because he's the UOW global ambassador. So he like travels. I mean, there's not many events that he does for UOW, but there's a couple. He was telling us this story about a couple, probably 10 years ago, I think he said, where they'd organise like a charity cricket event to be held at the Uni Oval here. And he just, yeah, it was, I think they'd asked about what was his proudest moment of being this ambassador for UOW for 14 years. So he was keeping in this event, in this match, and looked up at the scoreboard, and Sir Viv Richards and Brian Lara were the batters who were standing in front of him and on the scoreboard. And he was like, yeah, the fact that we got these global superstars here to UOW to play cricket on the Uni Oval is pretty awesome, which, yeah, that's crazy that happened. Yeah, so that kind of rounded out my week. Oh, actually, then after that, I came home and Coolabong's had a order for some like Coolabong brand hoodies. So I was over there at the office handing those out for like 20 minutes, which was all right. I had a chat with one of my mates I hadn't seen for a little bit. Yeah, and then I came home and I went to the end of my management information systems lecture, which was about security and stuff and the different types of hacks that information systems can be vulnerable to, which was pretty cool. Yeah, and then I wrote the rest of this podcast, and then played a couple games, and now I'm recording a podcast, which is, yeah, pretty normal for Thursday, I guess, except for obviously meeting Gilly. That doesn't happen every Thursday. So this week is Mac Miller's third studio album, Good AM, which is obviously following his first, Blue Slide Park, and second, Watching Movies with the Sound Off, which I skipped because I didn't think I needed to talk about that. And what was the other one? And Faces, which again is sort of, I don't know, like I listen to them and I do like them when I hear the songs, but they weren't stuff I wanted to talk about. So especially, what's the one on? Is it S? I think it's called SDS. It's on watching movies with the sound off, and it's a pretty good song, but the album as a whole just kind of is a bit weird. And Claymation's good too. So yeah, if you want to go back and listen to that, it's on Spotify. Um, yeah, SDS is track 4, and Claymation is 19, the bonus track on the deluxe edition. Yeah, so Good AM is a way more positive return to music for Mac. He's got a new, fresh, energetic style while he's dragging himself out of his drug-induced coma. Not sobering up per se, but reducing his drug use a lot. So yeah, his writing is way less influenced by that, which I think is what makes this album just so good. That it's Mac being Mac again. Yeah, so I guess we'll get started. Track 1 is Doors, produced by Tyler the Creator. Mac said this is one of his favorites. It sets the tone for the whole album, marking a stylistic change from watching movies to Good AM. I know it's been a minute since you've been away. Didn't mean to cause you pain. I just needed to escape. Ain't saying that I'm sober. I'm just in a better place. I'm on my way over. I'm just running kind of late. Mac's enjoying life and excited by it again now. He's back looking forward to touring and putting out music. In the Genius thing, there's an excerpt from him. At one point, Mac was thinking, I don't want to do this. I'd rather be something else. But yeah, Good AM has Mac excited again. He has a day-to-day schedule, hasn't stayed up for 2 days in a row in a long time, which is, something he reflects on a lot and kind of knows that wasn't good for him. And now he's got a schedule and he's sleeping regularly and everything's good. It's only a game. Don't be afraid. These doors will open and people change. One day you're gone. Right now you're here. Don't leave just yet. Don't disappear. In life, you have doors that open and close. You take and you miss opportunities. As life goes on, we learn that more doors do close. But yeah, we as people continue to change, eventually dying. Now Mac's aware of that, and yeah, that's just how life is. So then track 2, Brand Name, sets the tone again for Good AM with references to Mac kicking his drug habit, and staying away from the idea that a brand name product can be more than what it is. Mac attaches this to the notion that he isn't as special as everyone thinks he is. He doesn't feel like some famous kid coming fresh out of P-Berg. He felt ignored by some of his former core audience after his artistic transformation, which shed the fat of his frat rap persona. He came up and felt like he was a logo or a brand name, most dope, and now he realizes he's just human after all. We in between heaven and hell, exploring the idea of arriving at a balanced identity that isn't 100% good or 100% bad necessarily. It's kind of his rebirth or renewed life, basically. To everyone who sell me drugs, don't mix it with that bullshit. I'm hoping not to join the 27 club. Max says he's vocal on the Genius annotations for this album. So Mac basically is like, yeah, you can get a bad batch of something and die. One bad batch of weed even, it's the end of you. So sadly, this is almost Mac foreshadowing his passing, really. I guess yeah, he passed away September 7, 2018, 4 months before his 27th birthday. So I guess he didn't join the 27 club, but he didn't get there, so it's ultimately worse. Yeah, and the cause of death was an accidental overdose from counterfeit oxycodone pills that were laced with fentanyl. Yeah, meaning this line ultimately just came true. Yeah, drugs are not the answer at all. They can just have so much stuff that isn't what you think it is in it. And then, yeah, sillily enough, I think he had mixed it with some other stuff and alcohol and just, yeah, drugs are not the answer no matter what anyone tells you, regardless of how TV or music or anything idolizes drugs. They are not the answer for anything, basically. Yeah. So, yeah, that line's hits pretty hard sometimes, knowing that that is ultimately what led to Mac passing. Then everything we think we love, it ain't nothing but a brand name. Popular culture's trained us to feel like we love stuff that celebrities have. We think we love these things because the lifestyle looks attractive, but in actuality, we have no idea what these things are like or what that lifestyle's like because we don't have them. Yeah, essentially loving that lifestyle because of a certain person and loving the items they have because of their brand name and because the person who owns them. To everyone but us, it ain't nothing but a brand name. Nothing but a brand name. Yeah. Ask her what she's wearing. Say it's nothing but a brand name. Baby, this right here is handmade. The chorus continues with Mac explaining that a lot of people only seem to care about the surface level of things. What does being seen with this item mean to me? Usually a bunch of fakers just following, especially famous people. They're going to follow you all the time because you're famous and it makes them feel like they're famous. When people actually care about stuff and even people around them, they aren't bothered what others think. All that really matters is what they think of what they're doing. Yeah, Mac's fully engulfed within the mainstream pop culture, but he knows that being real and not worrying about brand names is more what he should be trying to do and is more respected and desirable in just people in general. You can relate to people a lot more when you're being real and you're being honest and you're you. You're not something you just tell people you are because that looks better. Then PA's baby. I ain't been to PA lately. See, I left and they call me Shady. I'm a white rapper. They always call me Shady. Got no idea what I'm contemplating, I guess. Mac ultimately never wanted to leave Pittsburgh. So his city didn't feel like he didn't love it. It's as Blue Slide Park was heavily influenced by Pittsburgh, where his second watching movies, Pittsburgh was down that list a bit. Yeah, he was just other things were on his mind other than his city, so he kind of skipped over it a bit. Mac feels it means something for his city if he's representative of it. He's a grounded guy who loves and appreciates his city and the humble beginnings that he came from. As for wordplay, Shady's Eminem, as I'm sure most of you guys listening probably know, old people or old white people apparently were like to Mac. I only know one white rapper and his name's Eminem. And when they'd say it to him, Mac would just be like, yes, that's me. Which I guess, I mean, that just is Mac, his humor. He's like, yeah. In one video online, he's like, I think it's some question and answer, like game show thing, that I think Vice or someone did. And it's basically like, do you wish you were tall? And he's like, no, I don't wish I was tall. I don't wish I could dunk or, a tall guy wants a high five and you have to jump. Like, yeah, I want to feel like that. Being tall ain't shit. Just yeah, his sarcastic level of humor is just pretty cool and kind of funny and something I enjoy. Then track 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. Rush Hour. Named after the Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan movie Rush Hour. Yeah, this song ultimately raps about what uppers would be, like stimulant drugs, basically. In the movie, they're always rushing around frantically, and that's what uppers make people do, basically. Probably my favorite Mac song of all of them. Just has a cool beat and cool vibe, and yeah, it just the flow's really good and the lyrics are good, and it's just cool. Uh, I give a F less and less every day. The more you give a F, I guess, the less you make. Money's no longer a problem for Mac since he signed his major record deal with Warner Music or whatever it's called. Hard work's admired and favored. Mac's talking on the freedom he has since signing this deal. Yeah, he's got the money, but he ensured that getting that deal didn't diminish his creative control, but it's taken away the worrying concerns about album sales and charting singles. Basically, Mac can focus on writing music about whatever he wants in whatever way he wants, and yeah, the record label will deal with the stuff he doesn't want to deal with. Yeah, they tell me get yourself straight. How much more money can you make? Mac struggled with his drug addiction, and although it never really affected his productivity, everyone around him always wanted him to just get clean and stop using drugs and get on top of his life, get a hold of it. Which, yeah, did kind of eventually happen. So I guess that's good. Then the next line's basically with the line before that, how much money does it take to get clean? Which ultimately, the amount of money needed to get clean is nothing. The money Mac has provides him with a means to purchase all the stuff and to live this lifestyle. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, yeah, you can have as much money as you want, but that money still allows you to keep up with your nefarious lifestyle, so you can't change it. Or I mean, you can change it, but it takes a lot more willpower because you can just, like I said in the other one, in Macadelic, yeah, he has that money. He could try a new drug and just go and buy tons of it. So yeah, definitely not easy. Because yeah, you can have a lot of connections when you're famous, and you can have a lot of bad contacts and get into stuff like that really easy. Then I be over shit. The world don't give a F about your loneliness. I'm just trying to grow up old and rich. Mac basically saying he doesn't care about his problems, and neither does any of the rest of the world. So ultimately, yeah, he decides just to live long while basking in his wealth rather than focusing on his problems because no one cares, or he doesn't feel anyone cares. I'm a deranged mother effer, took too many uppers. Now it's rush hour, Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker. Yeah. Yeah, here he references as uppers to what made Mac commit crazy stuff. Now it feels like his life's a bit like rush hour. Just rushing around, getting stuff done. Yeah, essentially it's comparing Mac's mental state while under the influence to the craziness of traffic rush hour. Then number 4. Hang on, I'll open Spotify so I actually get this right. Yeah, it is number 4. 2 Matches. As a sequel to the song Matches from Watching Movies with the Sound Off that came out the year before this. When I was just a kid, dreamt that one day we'd all get rich, no more problems and no more tricks. I set my sights high because in my lifetime, man, I seen some shit. Yeah, I swear to God, I seen some shit. What you doing if you ain't on your job? Max always dreamt of a life where he'd be so rich that his parents and family and friends could live life with no problems. Uh, and now, after signing his record deal for 10 mil with Warner Music, safe to say he's achieved that. Um, but yeah, even with that, Max been through a lot of stuff before he made it big. Um, like, yeah, he made 9 albums worth of music and mixtapes before this album came out just to make sure his major label debut was as good as he can make it. And as a child, I was curious. My mind was the dirtiest. Curse words was probably my first word, affirmative. Mac thinks his first word was probably a curse word. And yeah, he claims he had a dirty mind since he was a child due to the curiosities and fantasies that he had. Yeah, and Mac knows himself well enough to think that with his mind, he would have said those cursed first words first. I'm a goner, shoot you down from the sky with the eyes of an archer. Mac feels he's probably been brought back to Earth or brought to Earth for one precise reason, to make music and play it really well. Blow out your candles, make a wish. What's a life if you never take a risk? Ain't a place too far, ain't a dream too big. Nothing wrong with a little bit of fun. There ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of fun. Go have some. Even if it's not your birthday, it's okay to make a wish. And Mac and Absol on this track talk about their lives full of dreams, because without dreams and without any goals, yeah, they wouldn't have made it for Mac from Pittsburgh and Absol from Carson. They both had nothing given to them, and they dreamed of making it, and now they have made it, and they can live that life knowing they're successful. Oh, pardon me. Um, then track number 5, 100 Grandkids, basically about procreation, how Mac hopes to leave a legacy, or hoped to leave a legacy and continue on with, yeah, just Mac Miller existing posthumously, basically. Then the second half's a bit more selfish. Uh, the first sort of part of the song is Mac thinking about his future, and then the second half is just Mac thinking about Mac. Yeah, I made a promise to my mama that I'd bless her with some grandkids so she can spoil them. Until then, I'm getting dollars. It's just doing what I gotta. Mac's mum, yeah, never, according to Mac anyway, never hassled him about having kids. She was just like, take your time. But yeah, Mac did want to spoil his mum with a bunch of grandkids that she can spend all Mac's money on. Uh, yeah, which is pretty cool. And I may be a little arrogant. I'm aware of it. I know. Goddamn, I know. Mac's aware that he's known for being cocky, and he doesn't regret anything about this. But some people tend to look down on this. But yeah, he's not trying to change anything for anyone. So yeah, he's not gonna do anything. Then we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. Mac, hang on, give me a second. Sorry, guys. Mac pays homage to Diddy by referencing his hook on Bad Boys for Life. Then we kind of move on to the selfish part of the song. When I first made 100 grand, thought I was a king. Oh, you were king. Mac's come a long way since making his first 100 grand. He thought he was a really big deal then. He thought he was a king with that much money. But yeah, since then, the Warner's music deal, or the Warner music deal, more to the point, yeah, is reportedly worth $10 million, and yeah, he's slowly gained traction over as an artist, dropping 17 projects before this song anyway, which was a lot of music. Like, yeah, wow, that's heaps. Um, Where are they? They haven't got the memo. I'm saying I'm the shit though, trying to make it complicated when the shit's so simple. The rap critics really don't know where Mac truly comes from, with his raps. They just tend to jump on the bandwagon, but I guess so do a lot of fans. And just say he's a hot rapper because, well, he's got the following. He's got people saying he's hot, so yeah, they're just gonna fit in and be like, yeah, okay, Mac Miller's the guy at the moment. Which is good for Mac, but then also kind of bad because they're kind of just fake opinions that they're like, yeah, we'll just jump on board when he's hot. When he's not, we'll shut up. 100G in my jeans. I'm a genius. Again, Cocky Mac comes out in the second part of this song. Now Mac is the guy in the game. He's able to keep 100 grand in his pockets all the time, which he kind of feels like makes him a genius because he can, somehow he finessed life to be able to have this much money with him all the time. Then, alright, I'm on a roll. Then track number 6, Time Flies. Mac, looking back on things he might have missed as time flies by. I only quoted a couple things in this one because I couldn't really connect with what it was saying, but I probably could have. I'm going up before I skydive. This double entendre with the meaning that Mac's going to get very high on drugs before he overdoses, but then, or it also means that Mac's going to become as rich as famous as possible before, he just burns out and becomes irrelevant and no one cares. All the times that I've been reckless with the ego at Biggest Texas, thinking I'm the man, Mac again notices his ego is perhaps a bit too big, that it needs comparing to Texas, the second largest state in the US. So Mac believes his confidence is through the roof, and after all, everything's bigger in Texas, right? Then track number 7, Weekend. Referencing the joys and thrills of the weekend, about going through the stress of the week and then getting to the weekend to just let it all go. The verses are downers and the hooks bring you back up. I got a system filled up with toxins. I've been brokenhearted. Now it's F that bitch. Getting high to deal with my problems. Effing bitches. Getting drunk as shit. Mac has a bunch of different toxins passed through his system with his substance abuse, which he thought helped him overcome the judgment of Blue Slide Park, and then he'd also had a breakup in 2012, which, turned him back that way pretty quick. Often if he finds trouble, he just falls straight back into the old standard, sleeping with a large amount of different women and taking party drugs. Then the chorus, but I'll be good by the weekend. I'll be good by the weekend. Everything good by the weekend. Everything will be good by the weekend. The chorus comes in, picks everything up, that everything's going to be fine by the weekend. Mac can just go out, see some shows, then get home, back with his girlfriend and just chill out. I've been having trouble sleeping, battling these demons, wondering what's that thing that keeps watching me, that keeps me breathing. Is it money, fame, or neither? A couple songs off watching movies with the sound off, and Faces were kind of embracing the craziness of Mac's inner demons, letting them control him and guide him on his songs, on his songwriting journey through this period, basically. And without drugs. Placeholders think before sleeping eye to eyes. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. Basically, while Mac's not on drugs, sleeping's a bit harder for him, and fighting the demons appear a bit harder, and they're more potent to Mac. But he gets time to think about why you do it. Why do you do it for the money or do you do it for the fame? It's a bit of a naive question, but yeah, when you've achieved so much at a young age, you're gonna think, where do I go from here? Then the chorus comes back in to lift him back up again. Then Miguel comes in on the outro, telling a short story about phases of a relationship, referring to each phase as a different day. Mondays, I think of you, but I ain't tripping on it. Monday, he thinks of her. Tuesday, I'm hitting. Got to get my hands up on you. Tuesday, he needs her and they get together for a bit. Wednesday, I'm lit with you. You know you're staying over. Wednesday, they've gone much deeper together and they're moving in together. Then Thursday, I'm sick of you. I got to get rid of you. Thursday, the relationship starts needing freedom. And finally on Friday, Miguel just gets his freedom and he's like, yeah. Because Fridays are always the start of the time of my life, all right? Or the time of Miguel's life is the weekend. Yeah. And presumably this is how it's going to go for the next week as well. And then track number 8, Clubhouse. Basically Mac talking about entering the clubhouse of top rappers. I'm a chill in the spot with a spliff. I've been lifted a lot, but I ain't high enough. All the mills that I got, couple whips in the lot. Mac likes to smoke weed a lot, but he doesn't think he'll get high enough from smoking weed. So Mac could be stating that the only way to get high enough is to be the top of the rap game, a height that can't be reached by just smoking pot, obviously. Essentially, yeah, to many people, Mac's already qualified to get into the clubhouse with the rest of the greats. But yeah, maybe to himself when he wrote this, he wasn't, or he didn't think he was. Since I came in the game, they've been sour. Since Mac started being a player in the rap game, he's gained a large amount of haters, but then also supporters. But yeah, the haters are kind of soured on him because, well, according to the Genius thing, because he had to grind to get where he is, and people just, I guess, yeah, those people that hate him must just want rappers to be given everything and not have to work for it, which doesn't make sense. You're going to get way better music if people are actually working for it, not they're just given stuff. Like, that's dumb. Duh. I stay lifted, smoking, sipping, fixing all my problems. Generally, when Mac wants to escape reality and the problems, he just stays faded and drunk. And in the past, Mac did ultimately use drugs to numb criticism about him and his music. But yeah, in the end, he didn't have to worry about that because he was ranked as one of the best rappers ever while in their 20s. I've been through it all, every brick in the wall. Mac has done a great order of big things in his young career. His independent success, collaborating with a bunch of high-profile guys, and also some of the work he did with his alter egos, Larry Fisherman, Delusional Thomas, and Larry Lovestein, I think is the other one, where he sort of explored different parts of his brain and what he wanted to write, kind of thing. But he's also had to deal with some serious problems like drug addiction and even losing friends sometimes. And they hate when you're great, though. Ain't shit changed but my checking account, Mac Millie. Mac again reiterates he ultimately hasn't let fame and money change him. He still has the same friends since before he blew up. And he still has his family. The only thing that changed is his net worth. Then In the Bag, track number 9. I don't really know what this song's about, but it's pretty good. Keep it real in a world that's filled with politicians. Mac's trying to keep it real in a life that's ultimately filled with politicians. But not those that are just in charge of countries. But he thinks sometimes the rap game's filled with politicians who are just faking to make it rather than artists. These yeah, these guys just want to make money with business moves and they don't really care about the music, which is just bad for the industry in general. Shit is real. Tell them chill. Keep on bumping my shit. Could be referring back to brand name or just the fact that Mac launched a big line of merch for this album. Yeah, keep on playing my songs, keep on wearing my stuff, keep on talking about me. I don't mind. When I die, bury me in my Mercedes, goddamn. Inspired by a couple lines off 2 Chainz' song, birthday song, where he wants to be buried in different places. Mac seems to be definite about his burial plot and he's not letting anything go when he's dead. Mac had said for this line, I haven't got anything left in my will. Throw it all in my casket. It's still my stuff. Kind of, yeah, I guess that's a bit arrogant and selfish, but whatever. It is his stuff. I guess he's cool to think that. Then track number 10, Break the Law. The first promotional single off Good AM. My homies got my back, they all Verizon, and I bring you this la 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 live, man. Mac knows his friends are there for him and always got his back, like Verizon, whose motto is Verizon's got your back. And then Mac, the la 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 part is a reference to Mac's Live from Space concert album from 2013. Where Mac kind of got known for his good stage performances and live concerts. 1 million, 2 million, shit, I'm losing track now. Mac's earned so much money from music and merch and just being famous that he's now lost count of the amount of money he's actually earned. Giving me all of this money was crazy. Should have known better, no pressure. Dope seller, smarter than your professor. Mac thinks his 10 million deal was crazy. But yeah, now he doesn't feel any pressure because he has a lot of money already. So yeah, he's going to keep grinding to make music, but there's no pressure. So yeah, when it comes to music, Mac's smarter than the professors, he says. Then track 11, this is a long one. God's Perfect Circle, Godspeed, which is essentially a 2-part song. Where on it, Mac speaks about drug abuse and the trouble he's found himself in. Perfect Circle, the first part, focuses on Mac's goals in the rap game, a warning to other artists. And then Godspeed is a bit deeper, with Mac talking about the struggles he's gone through to get where he is. I came for whoever in charge, suggest you go and get yourself a weapon and a guard. Same reference as Clubhouse, saying that he should be at the top of the list. To get there, Mac's aiming for the guy in charge at the top. And that, yeah, you should get a weapon and a guard. Prepare for this battle of the top guys. And this not another case of the celebrity blues. Mac has struggled with depression, mainly stemming from drug addiction, but he got fairly sober to record and produce this album. He wanted to make sure that his audience knows that these lyrics didn't come from a troubled state of mind. These came from Mac. Can you draw a perfect circle? A lot of lies cover the truth. You got options. What do you do? I wash these pills down with liquor and fall. Leave it to me. I do enough for us all. No one can draw a perfect circle, and yet no one's perfect. Everyone has their own flaws in everything, themselves, their goals, just, all of life. Mac tries to show how everyone can make mistakes in their lives. You can lie and say, yeah, I can draw a perfect circle, I am perfect, or you can be honest with yourself and accept that some things aren't what you think they are or aren't meant to happen. Mac acknowledges that the way he lives his life, he understands some things are bad, but he keeps making reasons to keep making the same mistakes, putting him in a circle, basically. And then, the next bit is still Godspeed. No, still Perfect Circle. Why I'm so mad on my B-day, she say. I thought you got sober. Then I said, I wish you'd stop being a bitch and get to minding your business. Yeah, Mac's not going to be happy at his birthday party if the people that are there aren't there because they care about him. They're there because there's a party and they want to get lit. Since being heavily under the influence, Mac has reduced his drug habit, but hasn't kicked it out fully. And the girl talking to him, is like, I thought you'd got sober. When dealing with being in a bad place and addiction, getting criticized for not quitting yet can be a bit agitating, prompting Mac's harsh response to the girl in judgment. Then the interlude between the two parts is a voicemail recording from Miller McCormick, Mac's brother. Miller calling him while they were away on holidays and not hearing from Mac during this time meant his family has him concerned. In this time meant for family means, Miller and his mum and the rest of his crew are a bit concerned. This was during some of Mac's darker days when he was really, really struggling. Then, into Godspeed. I thought I'd have it figured out by now. Shit would be simple. Problems would be in the past by now. Mac had to deal with heaps of demons and drug addiction during this time. His younger self thought by 23 or 4 when this song came out that he'd have his life sorted out. Ultimately everyone has this idealized vision of the future when they're a kid, that it'll be good all the time. But sometimes life isn't like that. I love you more than words could express. This part, and this is the part that Q start crying if he ain't already yet. Even in this honest song, Mac can't convey how he really loves the people, his people. Mac had a lot of people call and text him when they heard this line, saying it made them cry. Especially Q, his number one guy, and Kelly Clancy, his manager at the time. According to Mac, it's hard for her to hear all of this stuff because she was there when Mac was dealing with his demons. Give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, then the last bit. Every devil don't got horns, every hero ain't got a cape. Open up my eyes, shit, I'm finally awake. Good morning. Evil can come in so many different forms. Mac discovered it can be drugs, alcohol, and just sleeping with women, basically. Now he's come to the realization he feels a breath of fresh air, like it's the start of a new day, a better day. Hence, good morning. The outro then blends into the intro as a perfect circle. Ultimately, a song you can just have on repeat forever. Then track number 12. We're getting towards the end. In reflection of the 2014 popular style of rap, Mac hops on a trap beat, which is a bit of a harder, just strand. I don't know. It's pretty good. Basically, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Rappers all want to drop it now and they can't even get a date. Woo. Well, many rappers claim they're ready to drop new music. The fact is they can't even decide when their music's going to come out or be given a release date for their music by their label. On the other hand, Mac's able to give his listeners the time and day when his music's coming out. So, yeah. Then the chorus, when in Rome, when in Rome. Mac repeating the short version of when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So basically, Mac can't be blamed for this song, or in general, I think probably more his life. He's just following the norm of famous musicians, which is, I wouldn't say doing what Mac did was per se the norm, but yeah, it's a lot more relevant. It's a lot more, well, actually, it might not be more common. It's probably just more publicized that famous people are doing this stuff. When I die, they better build a mausoleum. Mac wants to be buried in a mausoleum so he can rest in peace like a king in Rome. Then Make a Song Every Day got 1,000. Mac was very hardworking. He's got a lot of posthumous releases, which he obviously wasn't ready to release before. Then, during his lowest, Mac's said to have recorded about 9 albums worth of music, but considered most of the songs misses. And once he was finally satisfied with the one album he created, that's when we got Good AM. How is it when you're young, blowing up too much, talking shit, but I know that you ain't up to much? Mac's life is how life is when you're young and successful. He then dumps on his haters about talking negative stuff, but only because they envy Mac. The haters aren't doing anything, but Mac's out here making moves still. Then we've got ROS. This is Rain or Shine, the abbreviation. It's about Mac's then girlfriend, Nomi Leisure. Mac knows he was going through some stuff with her, so he wrote a song about that. You should probably take your heels off because you've been running through my mind. Mac inviting Nomi, his muse, to take her heels off because she's been on his mind. He can't stop thinking about her. My heart skip a beat like a scratch CD. This is Mac recalling when he first saw her, how he felt. Then your skin smell like butterscotch and your lips taste like kiwi. And then Mac recalling the sweetness that she is. If her love don't last forever, then forever ain't the same. Yeah, if Mac's love with her isn't forever, then he doesn't want it. Marry you, something I'm prepared to do. There can't be two. Mac puts down his pride and decides he could spend his whole life with this girl, but she moved on before he could realise that. Now there can't be two, Mac and the new guy, so she has to choose. Or one of them has to back off. Then the next one, track number 14, we're getting close. There's only 4 left. Thank God. An hour while I'm losing my voice. This one's Cut the Check. Mac raps about how his money, I think. Even though he's made a lot of money, he continues to cut the check and make money. The cards on the table, gin rummy. In gin rummy, you have to collect cards in sets and runs. Mac clearly has had some good runs in his career, and he's continuing to dominate the rap game with every stage set he runs. You're getting effed by your contract. What the fine print say. Record labels, not just rappers, but just artists in general, take advantage of them every day. Whereas, like, telling them when they can release music and what they should do and how they should go about it and all this stuff. But Mac wasn't one of them. When he signed his deal with Warner Bros. In 2013, he's been quoted saying that, yeah, they basically let him stay independent, write his songs how he wanted. Well, they just handled the stuff he doesn't like, which sounds like a good trade-off for me. Then Ascension. This song's about spiritual ascension, rising to an important position or higher level, and yeah, how Mac feels like he's gone through a bit of an ascension. Dear family, my sanity go down when my cash go up. Like the Notorious Big, the more money, more problems applies to Mac. For him, though, the problems were caused by his money were drug addictions. Ascension, a brand new me. Yeah. Why you want to do me like that? Misconception. Balancing the mind and thoughts to become your true self. Ascend. Be reborn into a brand new me. He plays on the word misconception, the way of like an incorrect opinion, basically, by saying misconception, basically asking himself why all the faults inside his own mind are there at all, and why is he doing that stuff to himself? Every Wonderland have an Alice. And referencing drug use again, with Alice being the literary equivalent of an addict and Wonderland being the manifestation of the distraction and enjoyment of drug use. Every Wonderland, no matter how wondrous it is, has a victim. Then track number 16, Jump, an opportunity to just say F it. That's what Mac wanted this song to feel like. That's why the song has an instrumental breakdown and gets almost dancey, because Mac wants to feel like this song is him letting go. He wants it to feel like something different to what he normally does. He wants it to be alive. Oh, sorry if you guys heard that. Pardon me. I've been on my own, was local grown, been killing that shit since Row the Boat. Mac writes about Mac's been writing and spitting fire bars since he was a young kid, back when he listened to nursery rhyme stuff like row, row, row your boat. And he's made it obvious in some of his other songs that, he's been doing this since he was little. Then You've Never Been Better Than Me, From This Prison I'm Setting Them Free, Open Eyes, I'ma Let You See, This World Just Like Our Dreams. As Mac has explored earlier in the album, this one's saying, there's no good or bad people, we're all the same. Thus, Mac is happy to let prisoners go, but he'll give him another chance, but he does give him a bit of advice. Open eyes, I'ma let you see, this world is like our dreams. Mac takes a positive look on the world when he compares life to a dream. When you're falling in a dream, you can seem to last forever. Mac's kind of encouraging people with the name of the song to jump off the edge in life, to take risks and live life to the fullest to get the most out of it. And then the festival. A Metaphor for Heaven. The album ends with a sequence: Ascension, Jump, Festival. You stand up, then you jump, then you're in heaven. I don't know why it seems like, Mac doesn't know why all his albums end in death. He kind of guesses that's just what happens in life. It ends when you die, so my music can end with dying. I don't know who I am. I'm so good at doing impressions, though. I'm going to the festival. The festival need to let me go. This is the first time in the song Mac states that he wishes to go to heaven, to the festival, with a line before showing Mac wondering who he truly is on earth and showing his feeling of emptiness. Feels it's necessary for his unorthodox life to end and he can restart in a better place. I'm past the signs. It's the real thing. Try analysing this feeling. You can't fathom it. Here, Mac basically saying he's past the point of wondering if he's overreacting. He's just sure he wants to move on and get to heaven and leave it up to God to attempt to understand how he feels. Mac does doubt his ability, though. God's probably, in Mac's eyes, the one who will understand it the most altogether. Mac's frustration ultimately blocks his judgment a bit here. All right, that's all I had written down for that album on that song in particular. I think next up, let me have a look. Give me Wikipedia, please. Mac Miller. Not America. I don't want to Google that. Discog, where is it there? Okay, so the next one is Good AM, came out September 2015. Then there was a mixtape of Larry Fisherman's. Probably not gonna go to that one because technically that's not Mac. I guess the next one is my favorite Mac album, The Divine Feminine. Max in Love here. It's going to be a really easy one for me to talk about, especially what is there? Stay, Dang. Oh, that's a banger. Yeah. Anyway, I look forward to talking about that song. It's that album. Sorry, I mean it's awesome. Yeah, the next two are my favorite Mac albums, The Divine Feminine and Swimming. Uh, yeah, I look forward to talking to you guys about them next week. And the week after that in particular. Yeah, so I guess I will leave it here. Thank you for listening. I'll link Good AM in the description below. Give it a listen if you guys want. Also gonna give a shout out to my inspo. Mags and Dad's Wholesome Chaos restarted about 3 weeks ago. For season 2 or 3 maybe, I can't remember. Yeah, go and have a listen if you guys haven't. Their pods are really good. They just chill out and have a chat, and yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, on that note, thank you guys for listening. I hope you are waiting for the next one like I am. Yeah, have a good time. Enjoy life. Yeah, just get on with it. Shit happens. Come back next week for the Divine Feminine and what I've been up to. I'm sure it's not going to be as exciting as meeting Gilly was this week. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoy keeping up with my life and enjoy hearing about all the stuff I'm doing. And then just getting an insight into my music and what I enjoy listening to. So yeah, I'll end it here. Thank you guys. Sorry this has been a bit long like last week. But I think that's just going to be it now. They're going to be in an hour. But I'm okay with that. I can deal with losing my voice for the next 5 minutes, but that's fine. So yeah. All right, I'll leave it here. Thank you guys. Bye.